Hello crafters, I hope everyone is well and safe. Today I'm going to be sharing with you 5 needle felting tips, tricks and techniques. So if this sounds fun, please like, comment and subscribe to my channel and stay tuned. So my first technique is actually a bit of a safety one, and I promised this in my last video, 5 needle felting tips and tricks for animals, which will be linked down below and hopefully up here if I remember. So in that video, I promised I would share 5 ways to protect your hands while you're needle felting. So say you're needle felting something really small, like a sphere, which I actually showed in that video as well. And then, I'm not going to do it here, but you poke yourself and you don't want to have that happen again, which is pretty understandable, I think. There's many ways to do it. The first way, and the one I probably use the most, is the Clover Claw and Mat Cleaner. And this is handy because when you're felting, your needle goes straight through the wires and doesn't get caught or anything. And it also cleans your clover brush mat, which is very handy. You can also potentially use a thimble if you're felting on the fingers you're holding your object with. You could also use, and I've done this in the past, you can use pipe cleaners to kind of hold it in place. This is more for delicate objects, or even lollipop sticks or paintbrushes. And I actually have a bit of a DIY for you. You can also use plastic gloves and some duct tape to make your own kind of glove protectors. We don't have any plastic gloves, but the way I'm going to do it, I'm going to take a little scrap of paper, mold it around my finger. And if you notice, when you are felting, you probably only use 2 of your fingers. So you don't need to make a full thing. You only have to do it on a few fingers, really. So I'm just going to wrap my paper around in a cone and then wrap the whole thing in plenty of duct tape. And I'm going to do that with 2 pieces. And there I can hold my object really safe and secure, and if I get poked, I will not feel it. Next tip is actually cookie cutters, and as unorthodox as it might sound, it actually makes a really clear and easy feltable shape. You could do it with children, maybe not too young with the sharp needles, you know, but it definitely helps when you're making Christmas ornaments or ornaments like that. And of course you can get cookie cutters in any kind of shape under the sun. I have some gingerbread men here, I have some flowers, hearts and stars. I think I'm going to make a flower. The smallest one seems cute for now. So what you do is you get your mat and you're just going to want to take your wool. I have some orange wool that I actually dyed myself. If you want a video on that, just tell me down below and I'll do it. You're going to want to stuff your wool in. Take your needles, I'm using 2 in this case, and then just felt all around. And this is actually really easy and it creates the shape really fast. You can also do it with a sponge. You can cut it apart to the shape of the cookie cutter and then felt onto that. And you can decorate that really easy if you don't want to use all the wool in the world. And here is my finished flower. Only took 2 minutes and it's really fast, fun and easy. And by the way, you can also make your own cookie cutters with cardboard and aluminium foil, I think. And you can make any shapes you don't have that you want to make. And I kind of show that in the video that'll be linked down below, kind of. So yeah, my next tip is actually on armatures, such as the one I did with this dog here. And the tip for this is to pre-felt your felt that you're going to be the wool that you're going to be using a little bit before wrapping it around. It just helps cover any sharp ends you might have, and it makes it a bit less strenuous for you, and there's less of a risk that you are going to be hitting the needle off of the wire or pipe cleaner you're using. And by the way, if you want a video on how to make armatures like this, it'll be linked down below in one of the last videos I did. So when you're done with this little flower, you can actually make a bunch of them, or in any shapes you want, and you can make little garlands out of them. So for this, I think I made the cookie cutter myself. It was just little, about 1-inch circle, and I felted some blue and orange pink wool. Then I got some yarn and felted it to make the middle of the macaroon. And then I strung some yarn through with a big embroidery needle, and I think it's pretty cute. So my next tip is actually a bit of an unorthodox one, and it is to make wet felted bases for your needle felt creatures. So what I have here is some old, it's just scraps of yarn I had, and I have some dishwashing soap, washing up liquid, and water here, and I also have a plastic bag just for my surface. So what I'm going to do, I put about 1 to 6, being the dish soap, and 6 parts water in my little container here. So I'm just going to mix that well, get my wool saturated. And you want to have plenty dish soap so you have the friction. And instead of the needles doing the work, it's actually the friction of your hands and the soap that are going to felt your shape in essence. So you're going to want to get it soaked through, and then we're just going to start rolling. And you can also do this flat, which is not what I'm doing today. You can already feel it getting a bit more solid, a bit more felted, which is great. Love to see that. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. I hope you learned something in this video. If this was fun, please tell me down below if you have any needle felting tips of your own. Next Saturday's video is probably going to be a needle felting finishing techniques video. So stay tuned for that, and happy crafting. Bye.